Welcome back to the channel. Today what I'm going to be talking about is legs. And the reason I'm talking about legs is that I had a person watching the channel, and they were stating that that I shouldn't be able to tell people what's necessary, judging by me not looking like a bodybuilder. Now, they told me don't take offense, which I never take offense to anybody saying anything about anything. But my whole process is that I can lift weights with anybody. I don't care who it is. I can lift weights with anybody. I'm in that kind of shape to where that I can do that, you know. Now, my goal is not to be a bodybuilder. If it were, then I would be taking those enhancement drugs to do that. But I said that to say this. My whole thing is, when it comes down to bodybuilders, and I've done a video about this before, and I was saying how useless a bodybuilder's body is for everyday events. You'll never catch a bodybuilder playing football. He just don't have that body. His legs are so big until they lack functionality, until they're gonna get tired very fast, because those big muscles get tired fast. So it's really not efficient for football. His body is not big enough to be on the line, which those guys on the line, they do have big legs, they have big bodies. But if you get a bodybuilder with that small waistline, the way they have it, they're not designed for that type of work. They just are made for how they look. That's the only purpose bodybuilding serves for, is a look. It has no functionality in any kind of sport. If you can, except for weightlifting, but you'll never catch a bodybuilder even doing weightlifting in that manner. As far as, you know, how strong they are, it's very hard on their body, because again, those small waistlines. So bodybuilders are not even designed for Olympic type weightlifting and stuff like that. You know, they're just not made for that. Bench presses, power bench presses, they're not made for that, you know, because their bodies have been developed backwards. Their muscles get stronger first, and then the joints, ligaments and things like that develop later. So that's how come they are able to tear the muscle off the bone and stuff like that. The muscle is actually stronger than the tendons, when the tendons naturally is supposed to be stronger than the muscle. So now, when you sit up and do like the world do, the industry, and they try to dictate to you how you supposed to look, then that's where you should have, you know, issues with something like that. Because everybody don't want to be a bodybuilder. Everybody don't want to be a model, because that's all they are. That's all the bodies are good for. You can't find anything functional in the world that a bodybuilder's body is made to do. Nothing. If you can find me something, put it in the comments, let me know. But other than that, the only thing a bodybuilder is good for is looks. Just like you had Ashton Hall try to outrun this young boy, Show Speed, I forget what his name is, but I think it's Show Speed or whatever. You looking at a good example that bodybuilding is not functional. You know what I mean? Even though this guy out-muscled this guy, you know, by light years, he's not faster than this guy. Because he have a body that's not functional. I don't care how many reels he make running and all this other stuff. These people that are in bodybuilding don't have the functional bodies that they're able to use for everyday use. You look at these guys, all they are good for is beauty pageants, how they look. I don't have anything against a bodybuilder, but simply because I had this one guy saying what he was saying, you know, and assuming that because I don't look like a bodybuilder, I can't tell you how to get yourself in shape, which is a fallacy. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, the industry will never tell me what I'm supposed to look like to tell you how to be able to lift weights effectively for a natural person. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it should be. Naturally, I can tell you what to do because I've always lift weights naturally. All my life, I've always lift weights naturally. I found out a lot of things later on in life that could have saved me a whole lot more time. But I believe in being in decent shape to do what I got to do in everyday life. Now, if you want to take whatever it is that you learn from everybody on the internet or whatever, then that's fine. You can create whatever body it is that you want to create. But I want everybody to know that bodybuilding is a useless body. It's a useless body. It looks good because that's what everybody think. That's what every man, because I don't think women even think that a man should look like a bodybuilder. Most of them don't even like that. But it's always men looking at men saying that, you know, this is the way you're supposed to look. But me personally, I'll never have nobody tell me what it is that I'm supposed to look like, because it's not my goal to look like a bodybuilder. It's not my goal to be that way. I like being more or less a lot more mobile. I like being able to move around, do my own thing. I wouldn't want my legs to be so big until they're rubbing together, you know, as I try to walk. You know, my chest and arms are so big until I can't tie my own shoe. Those are things that I do not desire to have, but I believe in staying in shape. I believe in lifting weights. That's what I do believe in. So, again, legs are not a natural way of a person to be. Huge legs, you know, because of what I've just described, with them rubbing together. You know, you can't really run because your inner legs are so big till they're rubbing against each other. You have to kind of walk gap-legged to even walk. It's a weird way of living. But if a person loves to do that, then by all means do that. But that's something I'm not interested in. If it were, again, I would be enhancing myself to get like that. I like the idea of, well, I love the idea of being natural. Everything that I get and have, I earned on my own. That's the way I like to live life anyway. Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk to y'all about. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. And again, I'll be talking to you later.